On December the 6th, we're going to be out of energy. You're going to be like, why am I out of energy? Why do I not feel as motivated? This is the busiest time of year, or the busiest times. Why can't I just pull through? Well, that's because from December 6th of this year through February 23rd of next year, 2025, Mars will be retrograded in the sign of Leo, and then it's going to regress back into the sign of Cancer. So here's what to expect with this low energy, low drive transit going on. We pick the worst time to go through this, right? Well, it's really not what we pick, it's what the universe picks. It's whoever controls the planets. Okay, the planets are like, listen, we all need to take a step back. We have been busy, overburdened, burnt out, trying to pay bills here and there, trying to survive different events. And now during this time, I see that many people, you could even suspect countries that are going to lower their firearms in wars and things like that, because Mars will be retrograde. Mars rules wars and pride. And with Mars currently being retrograded in Leo, that means that we're going to step back and see, what are we growling for? You know what I'm saying? We're going to be like, what is it that we're truly fighting for? Why are we fighting for the spotlight? Are we truly fighting on behalf of our desires or our pride and our ego? So it's going to be very introspective time for us from now until February of next year. So with a Mars retrograde, the energy is going to be turned inward. Like I said, we're going to think before we act a lot. We're going to be more strategic. We're going to become like little Scorpios. We're going to say, this person just did that, or I just got this alert. We're going to be looking for the best ways in which we can handle confrontation and how to handle it in a way that benefits us without making us look like an ass or embarrassing ourselves. Also, like I said, we'll be slow and less motivated to do things. And yet people are going to be like, I don't know what it is, but I don't feel like putting up a Christmas tree. Like, you know, on TikTok, everybody is like laughing at each other because they're putting up Christmas trees that are like this small. And people are like, I just don't have the energy. It's because that was the shadow event, right? The shadow before the Mars retrograde. We could all just feel it coming. We could all just feel it coming. This force that is telling us to settle down, simmer down, or lay down and enjoy those hours of winter sleep, or whatever they call it. We're going to be more motivated to hibernate. That's for sure. Our batteries are going to be drained. So we're going to be thinking about what gives us energy, what foods give us energy. What is it that sparks our joy that gives us energy? We're going to be asking ourselves, why do I act this way? Why do I desire this and that? And what are my steps taking me? And when we have the retrograde happening, when Mars finally goes into Cancer, January 5th of next year, 2025, at the 29th analytic degree, we're going to be very emotional. We're going to be like, I don't know why I don't have the drive to do this. I don't know why I don't have the drive to connect with people, to connect to my family. Why am I having all of these flashbacks? And I just feel like I cannot stop them. Brace yourself for that as well. It'll be a very emotional time to where you feel like, oh, I can't get out of bed. Everybody's going to be moody. And it's just, people will go into the new year with expectations of not having any expectation. So keep the faith. That's the best thing I can tell you, is to keep the faith. Now we're going to go on to all of our signs, starting with Aries. Aries, this Mars retrograde is going to be happening in the area of your creativity, your passions. And then on January the 5th, it's going to enter Mars in Capricorn, which is your area of the home. So while Mars is in the house of romance and children and passions and projects, you're going to be asking yourself, what does glory look like? What does it feel like? What are your passions? What do they mean to you? And where does it stem from? You're going to be asking yourself, okay, I've been playing these video games. I've been performing. I've been entertaining these romances, these relationships. I've been frequenting these bars and these clubs and these stages. Why? Does it give me joy? Is it something that I feel that is worth living from? What was I taught to stifle my creativity? Is that why I'm more motivated to put myself out there? Or am I just becoming a nuisance? I need to go check back in with my inner child and figure out how I could be more connected to that person inside, so that I could experience real joy is, what love should feel like, how it would feel to raise my kids if you are Aries with children. I need to connect, go back in with myself and see what pure joy really is, instead of what somebody has told me, instead of what somebody has tried to put on me or stifle from me, or what society has deemed as what I should or should not enjoy. So I do see that you're going back into yourself and you're figuring out, like, I need to get some new hobbies to in this relationship, or I need to sleep on it to see if it's benefiting me in any way, if it makes me feel good, if it's pushing me to want to be a better version of myself, if it's pushing me to shine. Person, this partner that I'm with, is stifling the moment. It's very diva-ish, but I can understand that. If they're taking away your star power, or you may even be afraid that you're getting destiny swapped with. Mars will enter Cancer January the 5th of next year, which means that Mars will be entering your house of, or the area of life that rules your family, memories, ancestry, the home, your private life, and your private emotions. So what's going to happen with Mars and Cancer is it's going to be very internalized, very emotional. There'll be a lot of anger that is rising up and causing you to confront hidden or past issues. And then you'll be like, where does this anger stem from? Does it stem from home life? Does it stem from childhood? But the tricky thing about it is you will be, you'll kind of be depressed during this time until February 23rd, because when you have Mars and it's turned inward and it's in your house or your area of emotions, you'll experience depression. There'll be moments where you have a flashback about your childhood or some bad events that have happened to you, and you'll be depressed and you'll be contemplating a lot. So I do suggest that you guys see a counselor to help sort through those emotions, because going through periods of depression is something that you shouldn't go to alone. Maybe joining a community, talking to a good friend will help you throughout this transit. So Aries, suns, moons, and risings, I really hope the best for you. Now on to Taurus, okay? Tauruses, Mars retrograde will be in Leo, and it's going to start in your house of home and emotions and ancestry. So a lot of unresolved issues will be coming up from your childhood, and this is going to arise for you as well at the start of this Mars retrograde transit. So you have to deal with stuff at the root. Taurus does not like easily forgiving people. Okay, let's just keep it real. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising, they do not like to easily forgive people. We love to hold grudges because we feel more powerful. And that stems from somewhere. That stems from the fact that we did not feel powerful growing up. We felt that people got away with everything, anything and everything. And it was only the smart people that got to get a slap on the wrist where everything was expected from us, when we believe as Taurus influenced people that you should suffer the consequences of your actions. You should be held accountable for your actions. So in order for us to get them to hold themselves accountable for their actions, what do Taurus people do? Taurus people hold grudges. But here's the thing about grudges, Taurus, and I hate this quote. I hate it with a burning passion. It's the quote that says, holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting it to poison the other person. I fucking hate that quote. I don't even remember it all the way, but that's how I sum it up. We're going to be in an opportunity to confront those type of issues. There's something that happened in the root of your childhood that you cannot let go of that is poisoning you. In Mars retrograde in Leo, it's saying to boldly face those issues while you're going inward. Boldly face those hidden issues and deal with those issues so that weight could get lifted off of your shoulders. January 5th, Mars will be in Cancer at the energetic degree in your 3rd house. So you're going to be finding ways to communicate your feelings, finding ways to communicate your angers and your passion. You're going to be thinking twice before you communicate so that you make sure that there's some clarification as to why you're upset, why there's some clarification why you feel stuck, where there's clarification on why you suffered certain events in your childhood, or why you feel like emotionally you are alone, or that you're angry and you can't express it. This is a time in which you will express it, because the point with the 3rd house is that you want to be able to communicate to your immediate community, your siblings and your cousins. Listen, this is why I feel this certain way about you, because I felt violated. I that. Mars retrograde for Taurus people is basically going to be a come to Jesus moment as to why you hold grudges, and finding ways in which you could get your point across effectively after times or moments of introspection. So good luck to you, Taurus, suns, moons, and risings. Now on to Gemini, sun, moon, rising. I know I'm goofy. I just had to do it. But Geminis, this Mars retrograde will be happening in the 3rd house. It'll be starting off in the 3rd house for you, December 6th, in the sign of Leo, okay? So you're going to be thinking before you act as well. You're going to choose to be quiet, which is really funny for Gemini people or Gemini influenced people. You're going to choose to be quiet. Why? because you feel that your actions speak louder than your words, because you have said the wrong things or you have done the wrong things that caused you to look stupid or dumb. So you're contemplating, okay, what do I need to do to make sure that my point comes across effectively without people thinking that I'm lying, without people questioning me, or without me questioning myself. You're choosing to be quiet during this time and being introspective so that you could put things in perspective for yourself. Now, I do see that you could have this sort of anger when it comes to your siblings, and you're wanting to lash out, but for some reason you can't, because you're effing over it. Okay, you're over your community, your immediate surroundings, you're over your siblings misunderstanding you, and so you're just gonna be like, I don't know. You're gonna sit in the Mars and Leo pride, because right, Mars is in Leo and it's gonna be retrograded. You're just gonna be like, I just let life tell you.
And when I feel like telling you, then that's when I'll tell you. Other than that, find out.
It doesn't matter if it's your siblings or somebody you grew up with. It doesn't matter if it's your close companions.
You're just like,
what good do your words do if they can't understand you? Okay, Erykah Badu. Words from Erykah Badu. And then January the 5th, when Mars does finally enter Cancer in the energetic degree, you're going to be thinking a lot, how do I spend? How do I earn? How do I budget? What ways am I going to be able to grow my money? I have to figure out strategic ways and plans and ways in which I can be financially prosperous, because Mars will be retrograded in the house of finances. Mars will be retrograded in the house of belongings, of shopping, of spending, of earning. So you're going to be really into yourself. You're going to be like, okay, I have these skills, right? Many skills, talents. I know how to talk. I know how to orate. I know how to this. I know how to that. I just need to know how to monetize it. That's going to be your goal, okay? Until February 23rd with Mars and Cancer. You're going to say, okay, what is it that really gives me some type of inner stability? Money is my inner stability. But what is it that I was naturally born with that I am in alignment with that can make me money? You could be speaking, it could be writing, it could be singing, but you have to come with the correct message. Now, the second house also rules your values and self-esteem. So you're really going to be learning how to price your services based on how you value yourself. What do you feel that you're worth, your services are worth? What is worth to you? What is worthy? You're going to be going back down memory lane and saying, okay, these are the things that made me feel like I was worthy. These are the things that have made me feel like I am unworthy. So it's going to be a very therapeutic, quiet time for you, Gemini, which is surprising.
I just see you saying, instead of fighting you, I'm just gonna hush.
Good for you, Gemini. Good for you. Cancer. Cancer, this Mars sign is going to be in your sign starting January 5th. Okay, so now we're just going to cover Mars and Leo for you, which is going to be in the second house, or the area of earning potential, finances, your self-worth, your values. Cancers, I always feel and I always know that you guys are always thinking about ways that you can expand, what you can expand your finances, your income, how you can earn more, because Cancer, it's all about home and stability and being around the things that you love and the people that you love. And I feel that especially since the past couple of months, like since the summer of 2024, you guys have been working hard on keeping what is yours, moving on to different avenues in which you can make money. So I feel that at this time, you're going to be more introspective. You're going to be more in a planning stage of how you can save your money, how you can budget your money, how you can save yourself, okay? Some of you may be budgeting for your own creative projects, or some of you guys could be budgeting to make sure that you're able to pay off therapists or therapy at this point, because it has been an emotional time for you. There have been a lot of changes with you, Cancer, suns, moons, and especially rising. Mars will be entering your first house, like I said, next year. And what that's going to be having you do is like, you're going to feel like you're trying to fight, but the more that you try to fight, the more you get pushed back. And this is an opportunity to question yourself, to ask, what exactly is it that you're fighting for? You're going to be questioning on how you assert yourself, how you come across. Should you let your desires be known so that people can know why you like go so hard, why you work so hard, why you're always taking off, so you can create this stability, so you can make yourself feel like you're at home. Because the truth is, Cancers don't really feel like they're home. They're here to create a home. And I see that you're going to be questioning yourself and be like, is what I'm fighting for even realistic? What am I fighting for? How should I assert myself? Should I emotionally respond or react? That is the question. So I see a lot of introspection when it comes to Cancers, how you guys move, how you act, how you walk, how you talk, how you dress. And then what happens is that when this transit ends around February 23rd, give it about 2 weeks afterward. And I see that you'll be getting more back into yourself, more motivated to put yourself out there, but now with clarity and knowing what you want to be, do, or look like. Now on to Leo. Okay, Leo, Mars will be retrograded in your sign first and foremost. So from December the 6th until February 23rd of next year, you also are going to be taking a step back, asking yourself if you're trying too hard. You're going to be doubting your next move. You're going to see truly want or who you're truly going after. You want to ask yourself, like, has the way I've been moving been silly? Should I keep moving silly? Should I keep moving quietly? You see what I'm saying? Should I keep things more to myself? Because Leo is very defensive. So when you are moving in these quiet ways and you're stalking your prey, and that could be goals, that could be people, that could be your dreams, you are choosing to be silent so that you can accomplish things, right? You're choosing to be silent when it comes to making moves, when it comes to leveling up, when it comes to you changing your directions, because there's something very special that's going on with you that's ready to let people know. This is your little secret. This is Leo's little secret. And we're going to find that out. Because when I study astrology, I find out everything about people, whether they're Leo, suns, moons, and risings. I'm going to find it out, Leo. I'm going to find out what you're trying to reveal to us, what transformation you're undergoing while Mars is in retrograde. When Mars retrogrades into the sign of Cancer, you're going to be going inward into a cocoon, right? You're going to become more spiritual. You're going to become more emotional. And you're going to be like, okay, I need to be alone to recuperate. I need to be alone with my thoughts. I need to be alone so that I could just deal. You're going to find what truly is going on with me, to find out my answers, to find answers to my questions, to find my purpose, okay? That is what you're going to be trying to do. You're going to be trying to find your purpose during this time with the Mars retrograde. Be asking not only why do you move a certain way, but why you feel a certain way, why you are more emotional than you usually are. Basically, you have been processing things. You're going to want to grow closer to God, because now you don't know where you should step. You don't know where you should go. Or maybe you're going closer to your angels or your guides, or you're just the universe. You're really trying to find the answers, because you're really trying to figure out how to move next, because the truth is that you don't really even know where to go. But when Mars turns direct, and then 2 months afterwards, after February 25th, I do see yourself getting back on track and moving after receiving those answers. So good luck to you, Leo, sun, moon, and rising. On to Virgos. This Mars retrograde in Leo is going to be impacting you psychologically on a spiritual basis. You're also going to be reflecting on your hidden or private affairs. Do you want to move forward to reveal your personal struggles? Do you really feel like you want to be relatable during this time so people can understand you? Or do you feel like people cannot understand you, right? You're working on something in private when it comes to your projects or your creativity. You're trying to redesign something. But also during this time, I see you working on your confidence. I see you working on your ego. I see you working on operating from a heart space, because Virgos sometimes do not feel, Virgo suns, moon, and rising, especially the suns, that we're worthy enough to feel love or joy or pride. Arrogance gets us knocked off real quick, and we feel that we have to be the responsible ones to pick up, to clean up, to take care of everybody. But now we're getting to a point psychologically in our private time where we're like, hell no. I'm not going to be the maid anymore. I'm not going to be the person who is holding the chips when they've all fallen to the ground, who's picking up the pieces and trying to glue them back together. And so with this introspection comes selfishness. It comes time where we're finally tapping into ourselves and saying, I am going to be moving from a place of confidence and of joy and of pleasures. And I'm not going to make myself feel bad for it. I'm doing the spiritual work to where I feel that I'm worthy enough to actually enjoy my life without worrying whether the other shoe is going to drop. I can see at this time also that some Virgos could be hiding a boo thing, or they could be hiding the fact that they are preggers. Now, when Mars retrogrades in the sign of Cancer at the energetic 29th degree on January the 5th of next year, I see that it'll be moving in your 11th house. What is the 11th house? The house of socials, social groups, friendships, social media, communities on a larger scale, dreams and goals, that type of thing. So what I see is that Virgo people are wanting to lean on their community, but you're asking yourself, I know that I need somebody. I need somebody to share my success, right? But I need to know the definition of community. I need to know the definition of friendship, of support, of dreams and goals. I do not know what that is. Okay, and Mars and Cancer is saying, well, I'm going to get you in touch with your emotions, and you're not going to be able to run away from them because Mars is going to be retrograde in my sign. So I'm going to show you what it is to be vulnerable. I'm going to show you what it means to get in alignment with your dreams and your goals and be in alignment with your true higher self so that you can attract good quality relationships, good quality connections, and so that you can move about in a community to where you can accomplish your dreams and your goals so that you're not alone. Okay, so thank God that Mars will be in Cancer in that area of life. Also, it's going to have you questioning, what do you want to share on your socials? You're going to be questioning whether you want to get more vulnerable, more personable, more emotional, let your guard down, and just be a care bearer for everyone out there for you. Be in support for everybody, but also being supported, because that's the point of this transit for Virgos. It's being supported. So Libra, the Mars retrograde will be starting in your 11th house, okay? Mars and Leo retrograde. So possibly you could be stepping back from your from social media. Maybe you were a part of a scandal or you see danger coming afoot, and so you just want to retreat. You know, you're dimming your light for some type of reason. I don't know what's going on when it comes to your connections. I also see that you don't want to be a leader of a community or the leader of your group, that you are wanting to go your own way, like basically just do your own thing so that you can figure out what it is that you truly want to accomplish, like what makes you shine, what dreams or goals of being a star do you have? Why do you want to be a star? Why do you want to be creative? Why do you want to be out in the spotlight? You're going to be questioning that type of thing a lot. I could also see that you would be announcing to your social media that you're taking a step back from social media or from some things because you're burnt out or you're having creative blockages and you just need to be by yourself. So this could be because of the holidays, or this could be because you're not in it. You know what I'm saying? You're not in it. You don't want to be in it. You don't want to be a part of it. You just need time to be alone, to be around people who are truly your friends, around causes that truly mean well and that are legit. You need authenticity and trust and bonds when it comes to your social circle, because this is a very private time for you where you are saying, okay, I need to figure out if I want to be a part of something. I need to figure out, why does my inner child want to be a part of a certain group or a part of a certain association? Why do I feel that these things validate who I am? So I see Libra getting really introspective, which is surprising to me because Libra don't like doing that. Libra likes to out socialize and not be apart from anybody so they can be alone with their thoughts. But I do see that happening. Now, if you do choose to go on to these social events or go on social media, what you say will be taken out of context. What you do, your actions will be taken out of context. And it will feel that you're stepping 4 steps forward to be pushed 4 steps back. Because with the retrograde, things kind of happen to pull you in and not push you out. So when you push out, you kind of sabotage yourself. So I would say, Libras, take it easy. Now, when it comes to Mars retrograding at the indirect degree of Cancer, starting January 5th through February 23rd, I see that this will be affecting you when it comes to your vocation, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your legacy, to your public image. And I see you reflecting on that. You're asking yourself, is what you're doing in alignment with who you are? Is it good for yourself? Is it good for your family? Is it good for your emotional and your spiritual health? Because Mars in Cancer is all about that. It doesn't feel motivated unless it feels good, or it feels at home, or it's comfortable, or it's in alignment with their emotions. And so you're kind of thinking like, I've been at this career for this amount of years. I've been at this point this status for this point of years, is it really serving me? Is this what I truly want? Or is this the career that I truly want? With Mars retrograde, it's like, is this the legacy that I want to lead? Is this the persona that I want to have? Libra's going to be asking that. So you're really going to get down to the meat and the potatoes of that. And I'm wishing you, Libra, suns, moons, and risings, clarity around that thing. Now, Scorpios. Scorpio, this Mars retrograde in Leo will be happening in the area of career for you too. So I do see that during this time, you know, you're going to choose to retract the clause. Scorpios, suns, moons, especially risings, you have been in a tiff or tit or tat when it comes to your co-workers, when it comes to your job or your career. You've really felt that you had to fight. So you either had to fight for your position, you had to fight to get to where you were going, or you just had to fight people consistently trying to come for you on a public basis. But I see now that you're taking a moment to abstain from fighting your co-workers, to abstain from fighting people, okay, to retreat or perhaps have a peace treaty between people. You're contemplating those things, but we all know that when a Scorpio cries for peace, that means that part one is finished, okay, but there's a part two because you will not win this war. We know that with Scorpios. So a peace treaty is really a setup that you guys have for your opponents. For you, I see at this time that people will also kind of retract from fighting with you during this time. They're like, okay, we've had enough fight. We feel that we backed you enough in a corner. And you're going to play like they have, but really you're going to be like, bitch. I'm a Scorpio. I have a stinger for a reason. So I'm not going to sting you where you know it. Okay. I'm going to sting you when you think that I'm your friend. Cause bitch, you must have forgotten that I am a Scorpio and a Scorpion. Now, all that being said, when Mars retrogrades January the 5th of next year until February the 25th, Mars will be the energetic degree in Cancer, in your area of legal issues, in the area of publishing, of belief, of courses like college courses or classes that you'll be taking. And I see that during this time, you're gonna be very emotional and you're gonna feel that you need to fall on something. I can see you returning back to a belief system, a type of ritual or church, and you're gonna be using your wisdom and your relationship with the source or God or whatever, instead of having these emotional impulses, so that you could have enough of a spiritual understanding, a spiritual grounding on how to solve the issues around you, whether they're legal issues, where there are tests of your faith, where there is classes that you can no longer afford, or things that you're learning that you're questioning why you're learning in the first place. I see that you are leaning on your spiritual man, or maybe on a religious man, or these type of standards, to where you're time for me to take a step back and see whether where I'm traveling to, where I'm going in life, is in alignment with who I truly am. My archers. Okay, that's an arrow, so I don't need YouTube trying to like dox me or anything. That's an arrow, that's not a gun. But anyway, the Mars retrograde in Leo will be impacting you first in your 9th house. So you'll be reflecting on which philosophies and classes are worth your time. You're going to be reflecting on what belief systems are worth your time. What do you believe anyway? Has what you've been believing been leveling you up? Has it been strengthening you spiritually? Or have you been sabotaging yourself with your own belief, with you traveling all over the place for no reason, just spending money because you want to run away from your problems? Or is a case that you've had against people, because maybe you filed a lawsuit and you're like, well, it's not going anywhere, so why should I keep fighting? You're going to be having those type of conversations with yourself. You're going to be reflecting on that, and also on whether you should stay a course at something. So I don't know if you're learning something and you feel like giving up because you no longer have a passion for it. The fire is no longer there. But then on the other side, it's like you don't want to quit, but you're getting bored. You see what I'm saying? So Sagittarius is really trying to figure out, like, what is learning, what is life, what is salvation, what is my truth. Sagittarius, sun, moons, and rising are trying to figure out more than anything what is their truth and what is their path, because you guys are a philosophical sign. You're a sign of optimism. You're optimistic when you have a path, when you have a purpose, when you feel joy. And now you're reflecting, you're like, do I have joy for this anymore? Is it worth it to me? When I was a child, did I actually believe this? And before I was indoctrinated by these philosophies, by these religions, by these mentors, by these pastors, by these teachers, before they were shoving things into my head, who was I as a child? What truly brought me joy? What truly uplifted me?
What did I see myself at when I was a child, now that I'm an adult?
Or you're probably a teenager and you're like, okay, where do I see myself at in 10 years? Or you're an adult and maybe you're like, listen, where do I see myself in 10 years, period? You could be elderly and be watching this for Sagittarius, honey. You still have life and a life path and a purpose. And you Sags are learning that right now. Remember, you have purpose. You may not know what it is, but the archer is always drawing back the arrow and always running, because you guys are always discovering. But this time you're going to be on a path of inner discovery. As complicated as it is, it's going to be beautiful. Now, starting January the 5th through February 25th of next year, Mars will be at the indirect degree in Cancer, and that'll be in your area of life, death, transformation, psychology, taxes. So I see that there'll be probably a lot of payments coming back. Like if you owe something to Klarna, you have to pay those payments back, so you could have like some taxes just pop out of nowhere that you thought that you solved, or perhaps some issues, psychological issues that you thought you solved, and you're like, oh, here it is again. The hard part is here again. The things that I thought that I've escaped are popping back up into my existence. Who is that playing 90s R&B? I'm getting distracted. Okay, so I see that during this time, January the 5th until February 25th, that you're facing your own dramas, your own traumas. But also during this time, you're realizing that you can fight. You're finding that inner strength, right? Mars and Cancer retrograded. There are times where you feel like you're hopeless or you're depressed, but during this time you can also find your strength and realize that there's always movement, that things are always changing, there's always a way out. And I think more than anything, this transit is going to make you resilient when it comes to your belief system and your spirituality. Now on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, you're also going to be questioning a lot of things, getting to the deeper spirituality, psychologically, to the root of things. You're going to be like, why
am I in certain situations or bonds with people? Are they even worth it?
Am I truly fighting my own inner demons, or am I relying on other people's resources, on their support, on their validations? You could be married and you're like, okay, they're not giving me what I want. So this is an inner job that I have to do for me. My happiness is my choice, it's my responsibility. And you're going to be truly trying to find that happiness. Probably betterhelp.com or counselors, sometimes even magic or oracles or tarot or astrology or reports or psychology today, so that you can find the answers. You'll be finding articles on what it means to truly be happy. You'll be finding articles on how you can heal your inner child, because Capricorn do go through a lot when they are children. That's why they have to grow up fast and they end up aging, and then they turn into a big kid, because that's the kid that has been stifled, who has been traumatized, that's had to grow up quick. So during this time, you're getting to the root of why you had to grow up quick, and you're healing your inner child and allowing that part of yourself to not only heal, but feel joy and passion. And once you find out what your inner child wants and you nurture your passions and you believe in magic again, you'll feel light as air, because you've transformed in here, because you've done the inner work to heal that part of yourself. Now, the second half of the transit, when Mars retrogrades in the sign of Cancer, January the 5th or the 6th through February 23rd of next year, I see that Mars will be retrograding at the 29th degree in your house of relationships, of friendships, your one-on-ones, connections, business partners, things like that. And you're going to be asking yourself, am I influenced or am I easily affected by those close to me, right? Am I doing what they want me to do? Am I fulfilling a role of being mother, of being the authority figure, being the nurturer, being the caretaker? Am I putting myself in that position, or are people putting those positions in that on me? And so now you're going to feel like you have to take accountability over your own self, but you're kind of trying to dodge that type of position. I also can see, like, if you've had issues with your mother, those things might be coming up, or you could be having flashbacks of arguments with your mother. Therefore, it impacts you in your personal relationships. You'll be like,
my mom always says that about me.
Is it true or is it not true? Are you truly the problem, or are you adding on to the problem? On to my Aquariuses, my rebels, my humanitarians, people who don't give a shit. All right, Mars will be retrograding in the sign of Leo, so it's going to be impacting your one-on-one relationships. It's going to be impacting how you're viewed in the public, how you're viewed with your business partners, your friendships, your lovers. You're going to be asking yourselves, are your relationships worth fighting for? Do the people opposite of you have the same passions that you have when it comes to connections, when it comes to building something, when it comes to relating? You're going to be asking, is connecting with people in general worth fighting for? Because Aquariuses, suns, moons, and risings, they can be sociable when it serves a purpose. But if it's not serving a purpose, they're pretty much loners. They can do everything by themselves without you. You need them more than anything to shake things up. In your Aquarius placements, Aquarius people are really like, why should I entertain people at this point? You're kind of going to be like in a regal stance where you're like, I don't entertain those peasants. I don't argue. I'm not fighting with you. And then I also see that when you stop fighting with people or fighting things or associations, that people will stop fighting you or fighting you openly. People will stop trying to fight and argue with you because you're not giving them that ammunition, that life, that passion, because you've retreated. All right, so January 5th through February 23rd of next year, Mars retrograde in Cancer will be impacting your daily life, your health, your job, your workplace, and your pets. So I can see that during this time, you may be fighting with your pets more, or your pets could be fighting something like an illness that has come back up. Maybe you are fighting an illness that is coming back up, and what you're realizing is that what happens in your daily life impacts you on an emotional level, and in turn it affects your physical health. So you could be thinking about work situations or whether you should leave a job because they're arguing about some old shit that doesn't even matter, or that has already been resolved, or that's not even true. So I see that you could leave your job due to old shit, old confrontations, old arguments popping off on the job or whatever job you're working. You could be leaving a doctor because you're tired of fighting with them on how you feel about your health and your body when you've told them time and time again, bitch, I'm aching in this part, you need to help me. So I can see that you could be thinking about or finding another health physician. Health issues emerge or come back because they're due to your stress. They're due to your irregulated emotions. So Aquarius, suns, moons, and risings, please consider your health and consider the people that you're hanging around, because they are a reflection of what you're going through inside. They are hanging out with the wrong people, sharing energy with the wrong people can really affect your physicality. It can affect how you fucking feel about yourself and about your health. Pisces people, my mermans and mermaids, okay? The Mars retrograde in Leo will be happening in your 6th house. So you'll be kind of feeling the same thing that Aquarius was feeling. But you're going to be withdrawing from work because you're really thinking like, why do I have to fight so hard for this position at work? Or why I got to fight this hard to keep a job, to get a job? Do I want to remain in the position that I'm at? Do I even have passion for the work that I do? Do I even have passion for the workout routines that I'm doing? Do I even have passion to keep fighting when it comes to making sure that my health is okay, that my heart is okay? Do I want to keep pressing on so that I can have peace in my daily life, or am I just truly giving up? Pisces, please do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on your magic. Do not give up on your passions, on your creativity. They are worth something. It's just learning how to prioritize them, and who to work with will impact you in a better way. But if people are wasting your time, if people are not appreciating your talents and your gifts, then for damn sure you need to leave their asses in the dust and find a new job, especially if they bringing up old shit that don't even matter. So yeah. Then I also see that during the second half of this Mars retrograde, January the 5th to February 23rd of next year, when Mars is in Cancer at the indirect degree, that it'll be affecting you with your creativity. Again, you'll be going back to your creative closet, right? You're going to be visiting that inner child of yours. You're going to be having a lot of moments of nostalgia, a lot of flashbacks, back down memory lane. You know, that Minnie Riperton song? You'll be having a lot of that. You're going to be visiting your inner child. You're going to say, hey, what is it that we truly enjoy? Why did I want to become this or that? Why do I want to be famous? What is the true root of that? Is it in alignment with what I truly feel, that I need to get validation from somebody else? What about I can validate myself? What about I think highly of my artwork, of my creativity, of myself? You'll be asking your inner child, what they like to do. What did you truly like to do before you became an adult and started working in the workplace? What was it that put a spark underneath your feet, that woke you up in the morning, that made you want to go about your daily life and have you think like, this is why I wake up in the morning. This is why I do this or I do that, because I have a passion for this and that, and it's keeping me going. That's going to be your MO from now until earlier part of next year with the Mars retrograde. It's taking care of you so that you could go back to your creative spaces, so that you could be passionate, so that you could find that inner spark. I also see at this time that people from your past, like past lovers, could be coming back, or that you could stumble upon some projects that you've worked on in your past, probably from earlier years. Maybe possibly some old paintings or drawings or journals where you're like, oh, I said that, I did feel that way, I'm getting back to myself. And that's what we want you to do. We want Pisces to get back to themselves spiritually, but it has to be physically and then emotionally. And then at the end, you're going to be asking yourself, which field are you passionate about returning to? Do not go to a field because you need the money. That's not going to work for you, especially Pisces. You're too creative. You're too much of a dreamer. You're too spiritual. If your spirit is not into your projects, you're not into it. And then you have situations like where you are at now when it comes to your work life or your job, to where you just don't give a shit. You have to give a shit about something, to be passionate about something. And with this Mars retrograde transit, is bringing you to this place of surrender, to where it's like, I will not work just to work. You have a purpose to work for creativity, to where work doesn't feel like work, because being productive doesn't always mean that you're sweating and you're outworking yourself, if that makes any sense. You are a creative, dreaming, ethereal, spiritual being. And that's what you should be connecting to, you, period, on the daily, period, to keep you light, period. Okay, so that has been my reading for all the signs when it comes to the Mars retrograde happening from now until February 23rd of next year, with Mars retrograding in Leo at the 6th degree and ending at the 29th or the 27th degree, February 23rd of 2025.
Let me tell you something. You don't own no streets.
You are my starship, and come take me up tonight. And don't be late, and don't you come too soon.